What's up guys, Legacy 4 here back again. This time I'm just going to be remaking the dash of the CJ real quick. You know, the good thing about the CJ7s is, and CJ5s, wheelies, everything really, it's just a flat plate. So I got a piece of 12 gauge, 57 by 9 inch plate that I'm just going to use my plasma cutter, cut all new holes. I'm going to even out these gauges so the gauges are even, and just clean everything up, put some speakers in it. It should be pretty fun. Just got the old dash removed, my new piece of plate. Like I said, I'm going with 12 gauge. It's pretty similar. Most people do 16 gauge, but 12 gauge is fine for me. And I got all the gauges out. I'm going to reuse the old gauges as best I can. We'll see how they work. Most of them aren't in the best of shape, but I mean, like I said, just freshen up the wires, tighten up all those connections. We should be all right. And I'm going to go ahead and get started measuring out the layout for it. I'll lay it out on the sheet and then we'll get going from there. All right, just line up the dash with how I want it. I'm gonna do speaker on each side. Just a little box speaker I have. I got marine speakers, waterproof. Nothing here. I don't think I'm gonna include the glove box. I think I'm gonna leave this blank and then maybe I'll cut an emblem into it or design into it in the future. Gauge cluster, center gauge, and then 4 gauges at each of the points, steering column, and then other speaker, and I think that's gonna be it. I kind of wanted to do some handles on the side to get into the Jeep, but I can always do that later, so we're just gonna leave that how it is for now. And yeah, I'll get to punching these holes out, drilling and cutting. Alright, I wasn't going to continue this video. I wasn't going to keep doing it because I figured it's just making a CJ dash. Wasn't a big deal, usually just cutting shapes in steel, but it's turned into a bigger project than I thought, so I figured I'd catch back up. I don't know where I left off last time, but here's what we got so far. So this is the back of the dash. I got 2 waterproof marine speakers. I ended up getting a double din head unit just because I was just gonna do Bluetooth and a receiver and amplifier, but I figured I might as well just go for a head unit. There was this big space right here before it, so I went for the head unit. All the old gauges siliconed in. Get a look at it from the front so far. So it's gonna be bed lined. I got like a first coat of bed liner on it right now. Gauges, lights, wipers. I'm gonna add a USB charger, then the head unit, and then 2 speakers on the side. So I'm gonna get going to wiring this all up, testing and everything, and I'll check back in. I just got done finishing up the wiring. It took like 2 seconds because it's just a little headliner, head unit with 2 speakers. In case you guys are curious, all I did was the front 2 left speakers on the pigtail connections, for left and right. I'm not gonna use I'm not gonna use subwoofer or backup cana, so the remote, the other 2 rear speakers, and the subwoofer cable, I tape those off because I'm not gonna use them, and the only thing I'm really gonna use is power and maybe the accessory wires. And then I just tacked in a little screw to the back of the plate that's gonna be the ground for the speakers, USB charger, and everything else. So now that's good. I think I'm almost done with setting it up, so I just got a bed line in the front. Alright, sorry about that. Someone's got their mower on the background, but I just put the 3rd coat of spray on bed liner. I just did the Herculiner again because it's easiest on, and I set it up to dry. Here's how it looks. We got speaker, head unit, gauge cluster, lights, windshield wipers, USB charger, other speaker. The head unit's on near the passenger side, I know, and it's only because there wasn't any room over here if I wanted to maintain that perfectly center gauge cluster. So it's gonna be there. Just think of it as like a rally car, the passenger's the navigator. But it's all phone control anyway, so I don't really care. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. You can see it glistening in the sun. This is the same spray on bed liner I used for my bumper that I made the last video. I just had like a can of it left. It's the Herculiner liner, and I'm pretty satisfied with how it turns out, and it's definitely gonna look really good in the Jeep when the sun's glaring on it through the side. All right, just got done with the dash. Here's how it turned out. I also put a back seat in, but that's easy enough. Oh, hop in real quick. Let's check it out. So, center console, the oil gauge decided to break. I think I just over tightened it the first time. The little brass fitting broke on it. I put a USB charger in. Above that's gonna go a horn switch. That's the windshield wiper. I'm just missing the knob for it, easy enough. Head unit that you can't see because it's too much of a glare, and then 2 speakers on the side. Overall, super excited with how it came out. As per usual, it's not perfect. It's not like, you know, just came out of the factory fresh. There's some very clear and evident marks in it that are missing. Oh, and that little red piece. It's going to be engraved or sticker or something in the future, but for right now, it's just a red piece. It's bracing the head unit in place. That's just how it ended up being, because the head unit was a little higher to start with, but that pressed against the pinch weld between the windshield, the top of the cab, the front clip, the windshield. There's a little pinch weld there, and that pressed against it, so I lower it down. So that's just what's holding it in place. But super happy with how it came out. And you know, for a guy with 4.5-inch angle grinders, is pretty easy. I think it improves all the gap and the missing holes and stuff in the original dash. And also this one now has a head unit and speaker, so that's the big thing that I really like about it. But let's go for a drive, because I don't think you guys have been for a drive with me with the newish exhaust on it.